Nintendo recently had a financial briefing. In fact, it happened last night, and we learned a bunch of stuff about sales and yada yada yada. Something like Super Mario Party. Did you know it sold 6.4 million units so far? Holy crap. Smash Bros. I mean, I got the numbers right here. Smash Bros. Smash Bros. Ultimate at 13.81. Super Mario Odyssey has sold over 14 million now at 14.44. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is almost at 17 million at 16.69. Zelda's sitting there at like 12.77. Things are just going well. I think Splatoon 2 is actually at 8.6 million as well. So things are just going crazy, and I'll put a link down to all those numbers below. I think the Nintendo Switch total numbers were over 34 million or something. I don't know. I don't know if they're fully up to date. Their financial briefing, we don't really have all the news from it because it was being put out on Twitter by a guy named N Styles who was at the event, and he didn't give us everything, but he gave us a nugget that I think is very important to talk about because it, of course, has to do with the Switch Mini. And this is Nintendo's first real practical acknowledgement that a Switch Mini exists. And this is important because up until now, we've been just talking about rumors from a whole bunch of outside outlets, but this is from Nintendo. And one of the investors asked them a question, asked Shunturo Furakawa a question pointed about the Switch Mini. Basically, does it exist and when are we going to get it? And here's what Nintendo had to say, because normally, remember, what Nintendo's normal response is to questions like this is we're always developing hardware and we have no comment at this time, or we don't comment on rumors and speculation. Like, they won't even acknowledge the rumors and speculation exist. They'll just say we don't have a comment on that. Well, here is what the official response says. It says, we acknowledge that there have been reports about this being the Switch Mini. Answering to rumors and speculations would end up stealing surprises from our consumers and also would be unprofitable to our shareholders. So we have no answer to that. As a general theory, we are always performing development on new hardware. I mean, folks, this is pretty much a self-admittance by Nintendo. Look, this thing exists. We're just not going to talk about it right now. As I said, it follows some of that Nintendo blueprint, right? We're always developing new hardware. Of course, they say as a general theory, we're always developing new hardware, right? Like, why are they mentioning a theory when it comes to the Switch Mini? In fact, why are they mentioning any of this? Like, talking about how, oh yeah, like, you know, if we comment on that rumor and say it's legit, that's unprofitable to our shareholders. I don't know how it is. Switch Mini is one of the worst kept secrets, whatever, it might not be called Switch Mini, but whatever it's called, is one of the worst kept secrets in the gaming industry. We know it exists. There's manufacturers making the dang thing. We have accessory makers working on accessories for it based on secret information. Bottom line is the Switch Mini is the worst kept secret in gaming, right? There's no reason for them not to. I mean, I can see why they're not saying here, because if they outright comment on it and say, hey, we'll have more details on this later, that is an announcement that the Switch Mini exists. But what they say is answering to those rumors and speculations will end up stealing surprises from our customers. Well, if those rumors and secrets and all that stuff aren't true, you're stealing nothing from your customers because it's a product that doesn't exist. So the only reason to say something like, hey, if we answer to the rumors and speculation about this, it would steal surprise from consumers. What you're saying is, yeah, this thing exists, but we can't talk about it now till we're ready to announce it because it would ruin the surprise. But the surprise is already ruined, Nintendo. We know this thing exists. We just don't know what it looks like. We don't know what kind of technology is inside it. But we know this smaller, cheaper version, likely non-detachable Joy-Con Switch version exists. We know it. We've known for, 2 years since the rumors started. So what Nintendo's telling you is that, hey, we can't ruin the surprise for consumers, but if it wasn't true, there's no surprise to ruin. Do you see what I'm saying? If you kind of read between the lines of what Shunturo Furakawa said here, it's that we're getting a Switch Mini. We're just not going to talk about it right now. We don't comment on rumors and speculation. And then he goes into further reasons on why, because it ruins surprises when it doesn't really ruin surprises. If people are already talking about it and assuming the product exists, some people even putting off buying a second Switch or a Switch for their kids or even a Switch for themselves, waiting for this dang thing to be announced so they can put their money down on it. And obviously a lot of the speculation right now has it coming out in September with the whole Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening coming out and a whole bunch. There's actually a ton of games packed around that September 30-day window. Astral Chain kind of comes at the beginning of that window at the end of August. So there's just a lot of stuff being packed into that short time frame, plus Pokemon coming later this year, Switch Mini just makes a lot of sense. Nintendo does these refreshes, especially on the handheld side, but also home console. We got the Wii Mini. They changed from like a front loader to a top loader when it came to the NES. They've done this stuff for basically since the very beginning of them making hardware. So them having a revision, having a smaller, slimmer, cheaper version of Switch is not really surprising. Them not commenting on it directly by confirming it at this financial briefing isn't surprising as well, because that's not what Nintendo does. They all announce this when they're ready. It might just be something they drop on a tweet. It might be something they throw a trailer up for. It might be in a Nintendo Direct. We never know when or how Nintendo is going to announce their hardware. They have done a variety of methods over the years. We just know it's going to happen, and it's likely coming this year. So I don't know what else to say at this point other than thanks Nintendo for essentially confirming that this dang thing exists. This is, Shunturo Furakawa is interesting too, because other CEOs have been much more coy when they respond to these things. Reggie-Fils-Aime, back when he was running Nintendo of America, would not word things like this. This wording is all but admitting this thing exists. So thanks Shunturo Furakawa for at least giving us some clout behind all of these Switch Mini rumors we've been talking about. Would have been cool if someone would ask about the Switch Pro and then see if he had a similar response or to change it up a bit, because maybe it's further off. It would have been interesting there, but whatever. The Switch Mini is the hot topic right now when it comes to new Nintendo Switch hardware. And the only thing I'm hoping, the one thing I'm hoping to get out of the system, detachable, non-detachable Joy-Con, smaller form factor, maybe a different chip, smaller chip, more power efficient, whatever this thing is, I'm just hoping that the joysticks get replaced with something a little bit better. We all know about the Joy-Con drift issues. I just put up a video actually about that you could check out up here, showing how to fix the Joy-Con drift issue. But we shouldn't really need to be worrying about drifting at this point, not when the system is this new. It's different if it's like an Xbox. You have an Xbox controller from like 2013. It's worn down enough that it's drifting at this point. Okay, that's normal wear and tear. But like these Joy-Cons will be drifting after a month. So I'm really hoping that they fix the joystick and make it just more durable. And I think they almost have to for a device that is likely targeted at a younger audience. Not that, my children both have Switches, my older two, and they love it, but I'm sure they'd love it just as much if it was smaller with non-detachable controllers. Although, I say that now as they're actually upstairs playing New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe, which is also on the million seller list, by the way. I think at like 3 point something million. And, well, they're actually playing it together with split Joy-Cons. So, what do I know? I mean, who knows? Maybe they'll make a smaller one and it'll have smaller detachable Joy-Cons. Beats me. I know my children love that feature, so whatever. They don't have to worry about it because they have a normal Switch. Anyways, you guys let me know what you think about all this down in the comments below. I am Nathaniel Rumpel Jansen. I did this paper. Get out of here. Oh, man, it's been a long time. Look I'm using when you sat here, I got like this little Wiimote thing here that's not really a Wiimote. Any guesses at what that is? Coming in a future video. Dude, it's been a while. It's been a while. All right, folks, if you like this video, drop a like. Leave a comment below. I will try my best to respond to as many comments as I can on this topic. I want to thank you guys so much for sharing this video with your friends, getting everyone involved. Hey, we're back on that road to 50K. We're finally on the upswing again, getting close to 47,000 subscribers. Thank you for all of your support over this past month. I've been trying to bust my butt before E3, through E3, and continuing into June, even as I'm working into other ways to make revenue outside of YouTube. But thank you guys for all of that support. Checking out our Patreon at patreon.com/Nintendo Prime. All that jazz, man. You guys are the best, and I will catch you in the next video. I'm just hoping this dang audio worked. This is like the 4th video I've tried recording with the lav mic this week. None of the audio has turned out. It's really strange. I don't know if you guys know this. I actually run the audio into my phone, and earlier, the one reason I had is I forgot to take this off. This is what makes this work with the camera. And you might be like, why not just run the audio directly to the camera? Well, I've had issues with the lav mic in the camera. Never had issues with the lav mic in the phone. And now, I don't know, man, technology, sometimes I love it. Sometimes I just really don't. Man. Gotcha.